Understanding the scale and the importance of daily weigh-ins. For many people, the scale is misunderstood, and because of that, it can cause a great level of distress. But this doesn't have to be the case, and hopefully by the end of this presentation, you'll understand why. Now, the scale is simply a tool that gives us data. It's not a measure of self-worth, and instead it just gives us an indication of whether or not we are heading in the right direction. It's important to know there are many things that can cause the scale to change on a day-to-day basis. Here's a few of them. The first one is an increase in carbohydrate consumption. So for every 1 gram of carb, you retain 3 to 4 grams of water. And even if you're in a calorie deficit, if your carbohydrate intake has increased for a day, you will retain water. But this goes away once carbohydrate consumption drops back to where it was previously. To help you understand that a little bit better, right? For example, if your total calorie intake for the day is 2,000 calories, the amount that you need to consume to lose weight, a certain percent of those calories will be made up from carbs, fats, and protein, right? They will make up the total calories. Now, you could be in a calorie deficit, right? Both days in a row, 2 days in a row. But if one day a higher percentage of that deficit is made up of calories coming from carbohydrates, you're going to retain water, but it is not fat. And once your carbohydrate intake stabilizes right back to where it normally is, then you're going to see the scale drop back off. Now, another reason is stress. An increase in stress can bring on an increase in cortisol, which is the stress hormone, and can make us retain water. Another reason is salt. When we consume more sodium, our body holds onto more water. Bowel movements, this one's pretty straightforward, but if you're constipated or you're having irregular bowel movements, or maybe you have irregular bowel movements all the time, this can cause fluctuations in scale weight. Inflammation from exercise. So when you work out, you can cause stress to your muscles, and this can cause excess water retention. And one more, the menstrual cycle. Now, during certain parts of a woman's cycle, they can retain fluid. But again, once that part of the cycle is over, fluid levels tend to go back to normal. Now, there's even more reasons, but these are the main ones. Taking all of this into account, it's safe to say your daily weigh-ins can change drastically from day to day, which can make measuring progress challenging and can make it a little bit tricky. But this is what we need to do. You either log your weight on a graph and see whether your weight is trending down over time, right? Or we can compare weekly averages. So we do this by adding 7 days of weigh-ins and then dividing by 7, which will give us an average for the week. And as long as the trend or the average is going down, you are losing weight and no adjustments need to be made. But if nothing is changing, then adjustments to calories and energy expenditure might need to be made. Now, this is a graph of my weight loss. I lost 21 kilos over 9 months. This is recent, off the back end of my backpacking trip where I just ate shit food for an entire year. And then I broke my ankle and it caused me to put on a lot of weight. As you can see, this is me. By the way, this is a weigh-in from every single day, right? And it's all being graphed up. And as you can see, the weight goes up, weight goes down all the time. And right here's Christmas, right? And then there's another period here where it sort of stabilized for ages. But the overall trend is down, 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 down. So this is just to give you a look at what happens. And this is a zoom in of 3 months out of that 8. Again, look at that, up and down, up and down. This is what weight loss looks like. But overall, it's trending downwards. Now, if you were to only weigh in on one or a few days out of the week, you might only see days when you've had a scale spike, but when in reality you could have hit an all-time low on one of those days, but you didn't weigh in, so you would have missed it. So ultimately, this is why you want to weigh in every single day. That's why weighing in every day is best. Now, to quickly go back, imagine, for example, you were just weighing in whenever you felt like it. And one day you weigh in here and you go, whoa, I've got a huge drop, all-time low. But then a week later you weigh in here and it's back up. You're going to think that you're not progressing. But again, if you look at the overall trend, you certainly are progressing. Also, by the way, the reason why I've been able to do all this graphing, I didn't do this manually. I just have an electric scale, and when I hop on every day, it sends the data to an app, and it just does this for me, right? But if you were to do it manually, right, just say you had an old scale at home, there are many different apps, MyFitnessPal, or like my coaching app, EverFit, that you just put it in and it does it for you. Now, people will often weigh in and they see a spike, and because they don't understand all these reasons why the scale spikes up and down, they think they've gained weight. But in reality, they likely haven't gained weight, or if they have, it's not going to be that much. Now, it's really important to keep this in mind. To gain 1 kilo of fat, you need to eat 7,700 calories above your maintenance, right? And if you haven't eaten that many calories above your maintenance, which for many people that would be really, really hard, even if you had a big dinner, a big weekend away, it'd be really hard to consume that many calories. It's impossible that you've gained 1 kilo of fat. So keep that in mind. So now, when is the best time to weigh? Well, first thing in the morning, naked, and after you pee. And this gives us the most accurate representation of what's going on. You don't want to be weighing all over the place. Like, you don't want to be doing the morning, in the middle of the day, in the afternoon, because your weight increases as the day goes on. For example, if you drank 2 liters, 3 liters of water, you ate heaps of food, you'd be weighing way more by the end of the day. So always in the morning, always, and ideally after your pee. Now, key takeaways from this: the scale is the best tool we have to gauge our fat loss progress, right? If you're taking photos, sweet, right? You can sometimes see progress, and you will see progress if you have lost weight, but you can't just look at photos. You want actual data, and actual data is the best evidence you can have that you're moving in the right direction. Because of this, we should weigh every day. And always keep in mind that daily weigh-ins don't tell us much, right? You're just going to see ups and downs. But weighing in every day and looking at the overall trend gives us a clear and accurate gauge of progress. Best time to weigh in is in the morning, and always at the same time. One last thing, seeing daily fluctuations can be really annoying, and it can cause emotional distress for some people. Don't let a spike derail your progress. Remind yourself why it might have happened and move on. Removing emotional attachment from the number you see is important to stay focused on this journey. That's the end of this presentation. If you have any questions, always just shoot me a message. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Take it easy, lemon squeezy.